Oh wow, we are live. This is the first time being live on the financial chats with this page. Literally, this is the first time. So, the questions that I usually get about the tax-free savings account is like, okay, what's the difference? What is this account? And that's essentially what I want to talk about on this live. I want questions about the tax-free savings account. So any questions you have regarding that account, this is the time to ask them. So any question, like as you think about it, like if you don't know what this account is, if you don't know what to invest in, if you just like have questions about this account, because I feel like that's my golden girl. My tax-free savings account is just doing so well. And I opened it like last year in March under lockdown. I was like, I'm moving it from one provider to the next. And ever since I did that, hooray, we've been seeing money. We've been seeing profits. So, hi, Ivy Sambo. Welcome. Welcome, everyone. I think I should have just written what it is that we're talking about. How do I even write that? I'm so bad at this. Guys, how do I write this? I don't know. But anyway, we're talking about the tax-free savings account. And I was talking about essentially how I moved mine from one provider to another. And moving it to Easy Equities essentially was like, now I need to do everything myself. So all the investing, about how much I got. Ni hao, Charles. Thank you for joining the live. All the investing and choosing the products, I had to do that myself. And I didn't know anything about ETFs. I didn't know much about shares, but I had an idea. And then I was like, okay, what do I do? Where do I start? What do I invest in with this account? I just went and bought. If any of you follow me on YouTube, you know that I've shared these stories. But I thought, let me come on this live essentially to answer your questions about the tax-free savings account. So questions, guys. I know that most of you are feeling the same way that I felt when I started it. Like, okay, where do I start? I've got cold feet. Can somebody hold my hand through this? But really, we need to have financial conversations, right? And I am essentially doing this because I wish there was somebody that was doing it in this way and putting themselves out there often and taking the time to make these sort of videos. So now that I have the time and I have the ability to do that, that's why I have financial chats with Tisa, so that you guys can, have these conversations with me and ask for information, not advice, information, because I'm not a financial advisor. I get. So yes, let's first start with like, okay, what is a tax-free savings account, right? So with the tax-free savings account, a lot of you, I think you've seen it being provided by your bank. And if you've watched my YouTube videos about tax-free savings accounts, I'm just like, guys, the banks, they're playing with us. They're playing with us for sure. Because the interest rates that they're offering, I'm like, what pocket money is that? With my money, what pocket money is that? So if you feel the same way about this, hit the hearts, I'll see them. But essentially, I'm like, what pocket money is this? No, please don't play with us. So when I moved it to Easy Equities, I was like, oh, now there's a difference. Now I want to lend a tax-free savings account. Because before I wasn't seeing it. I'm like, okay, tax-free savings account versus a normal 32-day notice account, a normal savings account where there's some interest that you earn. What's the difference? What's the big deal about this tax-free savings account? And I'm almost 1 year in. I'm just quarter to 1 year, actually 1 month, and then I'm 1 year in, and I've almost made 11,000 in profit. I've made 11,000 in profit, and I'm like, this would have never happened with a bank. It definitely wouldn't have ever happened with a bank. And that's true. I did the research. It wouldn't have, right? So I cannot come here and, or rather, I can't be posting about all those profits and loveliness that I'm seeing and then not have, put out the information for you guys to also know. I've already put it out there, but I think awareness on all platforms. And March March 1st is coming. And somebody did ask me, what's the big deal about March 1st? And March 1st, is it March 1st of the end of February? But let's leave it at March 1st. There's a tax year. How SARS works is that there's a tax year, guys. So not January to December, like how we know a year to be. A tax year has been set by SARS, which is the South African Revenue Service, right? And they're like, okay, all our financial they within this tax year. So even that tax exclusion that you get on your tax-free investment account, they start counting from March 1st all the way to, I think, February 28th. So I have already put in the maximum amount that I can put into a tax-free investment account per tax year, which is 36,000, right? And we'll get into the limits as well. So with the 36,000 that I've already invested last year, we're still, even though it was last year, we're still within that same tax year. So I can't invest any more money into the tax-free investment account. I have to wait for the new tax year. And it doesn't start in January when the new year starts. No. It starts on March 1st. So I have to wait, because if I invest another 36 now, they are going to give me like a hefty penalty. It will be like undoing all those profits that I gained in this year with my TFSA, you know, so I don't want to do that. So you must always keep track of that. So now, does it mean that you must have 36,000 to start investing in a tax-free savings account? No, that's not what it means. Obviously, trying your best to contribute the maximum of 36,000 per tax year would be like super duper. But if you can only contribute 10,000, that's still something, and it's still okay. If you can only do like 100 rand a month, you can still do that. That's what I love about Easy Equities and the ability to just invest any amount that you can, right? Instead of like some financial institutions that are like, no, in order for you to have this account with us, you need to have this as a minimum deposit every single month, right? And some people honestly can't afford that, depending on your financial situation. So with me, what I do throughout the year, if I've invested the full 36 at the beginning of the tax year in March, I'm like, okay, the next tax year will eventually come. So let me keep saving money in an interest-bearing account, like with Time Bank, that does not charge you monthly bank fees for keeping your money, you know, and they have a great interest rate. So I save my money there. It's earning interest, and then when the new tax season starts, not tax season, tax year, not season, tax year starts, my 36,000 is ready for me to now invest in a tax-free investment account again. And it's ready. The money's just growing there. It's earned some interest, and I'm going to take it out and invest it again on Easy Equities and buy more ETFs. And I feel like you're going to keep hearing ETFs out of my mouth. Hey, if you still don't get what ETFs are, you're going to keep hearing Tisa say ETFs, left, right, and center. So guys, what are your questions about the tax-free investment account? What don't you understand? Because sometimes when a person comes to understand something, they then forget that somebody who might not necessarily understand it fully, what it is that they might still need help with. So I think maybe if there are things that are missing, you know, what is it? Hey, Luvi. Hi, is it Lamesh? Hi, Lamesh. Hi, Kwesi. Hi, Blessing. Hi, everyone. I really appreciate having you guys on this live, but you're not asking questions. So one of the questions that people do ask is that, I'm trying to think of a common one that I get. Okay, the first common question was why March? And I think I've just explained that about the tax year and how it works, how the tax year is not January to December, but rather March to February, right? And SARS will announce those dates accordingly each year, right? So with the tax-free savings account and investment account, your money grows better there than your normal savings account, because there you are not subject to paying any sort of tax on any money or interest that you earn in that account. That's why when I look at my Easy Equities account, if you do have an Easy Equities account, you'll see that you have your normal account where you can buy shares, right? And then you have another your tax-free savings account, and then you have your US dollar account, your Australian dollar account, and whatnot. So when I look at the interest of all those accounts, my TFSA, which stands for tax-free savings account, that one is doing great. She's the golden girl. She keeps winning. Why? It's because of what I'm invested in that tax-free savings account. It's ETFs, not individual shares. Because now if you've bought a share, for example, let me use the example of Clicks, because I recently posted a picture about how my Clicks and Discount shares from day one, they've been disappointing me, So for example, if you took a whole lot of money and you bought shares in those two companies, can you imagine how your portfolio would look if they were going down? You're going to feel hurt. You're going to be like, no, Tisa, this thing about buying shares, it doesn't work. But this is where you must do the balancing. Buy shares, yes, but ETFs are the magic, because let's take, for example, if you bought an ETF, I see your questions, guys. I'll answer them now. So if you had bought an ETF that's called the Satrix Top 40. Satrix is a provider. Think of Satrix like, I don't know, we have different supermarkets, right? So Satrix is a provider, and they provide an ETF called the Satrix Top 40. What's in this Satrix Top 40 is the top 40 companies in South Africa, top performing. So if this is an index that has the top 40 performing companies in South Africa, that means that, okay, what if one company now doesn't really fall under the top 40 anymore? They're starting to underperform. Then what does that mean? They get off, because this index is tracking the top 40 companies. So if a company is no longer part of the top 40 companies in South Africa, they get removed, because you're not progressive in this index. So that means that if you now bought the Satrix Top 40, you are guaranteed that, in a way, you are guaranteed that there will always be some sort of balancing. So let's take, for example, there's company A up to Z. Let's say A to Z was 40 numbers, for example, 40 companies. If company A does great, or 40 or 30 of those companies are doing great, but 10 are not doing well, does it mean that now the index will be like, phew? No, those that are doing well will sort of balance it. But if you've only bought one share, then every result, any up and down, you are definitely directly affected. That's why ETFs are magic. ETFs are magic. And it's important to know what's inside those ETFs, so that, it's okay, they invested in these companies, these industries, these are definitely doing well, and I want to buy these sort of ETFs. It's not every single ETF. I think on the JSE, we have a total of 76 or 78 ETFs the last time I checked, because I always read up on ETFs. So from all those ETFs, I know you're like, how the hell am I going to choose from all those ETFs? That's what's nice about the Easy Equities ETF compare page. I do not work for Easy Equities, but their company makes sense. Their site is very useful and helpful. And I think you should just literally check it out. So let me look at your questions. Luvi, you say with Easy Equities, money not invested, but in their account, does it count as being part of your tax-free already? Yes, I think it does. So if you've now shifted the money, and that's a deposit, because what they count is the deposits and the money that you then now take out. So that means that that money that you've deposited is now part of the tax-free savings account. But if you haven't invested it, you need to then invest it, because you're only going to get the interest on the capital depending on how much interest they give on just money that's laying in that account. And I think it's a very low interest, and they also charge you a fee on money that's just laying there. So buy ETFs as soon as possible, invest that money as soon as possible. My money also laid there for I think a month, while I was trying to figure my way out and trying to understand how do I begin this investment on Easy Equities. But if you just keep it there, it's not going to grow much. There will be a fee, and there'll be a little bit of interest, very little. So buy some ETFs, ne? And I have those videos where I spoke about the ETFs that I bought. You can watch it and then decide which ones you also want to buy for yourself. Yeah. I hope that answers your question. Please let me know. And Thandi, are ETFs better than unit trusts? Yes, they are. According to my understanding, based on what I have read and listened to, you know, when I hear people who talk about finances and whatever and talk about unit trusts and stuff, my understanding is that unit trusts don't do as well as ETFs. There are certain unit trusts that are doing great. I wouldn't discourage you from investing in unit trusts. They are still somewhat better also. They sort of balance also better than like buying an individual share. And they're also somewhat better than you just having your money saved with the bank or having the bank TFSAs. So unit trusts and ETFs, yes, for sure. But I'm more of a fan of ETFs. And that's why most of my knowledge and time invested is on reading up about ETFs, not so much unit trusts. Yeah, but I think maybe I should do more reading so that I can justify my reasons better, ne? All right, Thandi. So I hope that answers you. And Lamesh, you say, hi, Financial Chats with Tisa. Hi. Is the money in the TFSA still available to me anytime? Yes, it is. So you can, if you are with Easy Equities, for example, if you wanted to access the money that's in your TFSA, this is according to my understanding, right? I have not withdrawn any money from mine, and I wouldn't recommend that anyone open a TFSA and then want to access that money. Rather have a separate emergency savings. Don't use your TFSA as an emergency savings. So, what you would then need to do, let's take, for example, you bought 5 ETFs with the money that you had put into your TFSA and you want access to that money. You would then need to sell off your investments. You can't, you'll see the round figure of what's the value of that portfolio, but you can't just go withdraw it the same way you withdraw money from like your banking app. You would have to actually sell your investments. So you sell the first ETF, you'll get that money from there. You sell the other, so you sell off your investment essentially. So maybe you want to access just a portion of it. So then you sell off just what you need then, and then leave the rest instead. I hope this answers your question, but yes, you would have access to your money. But I think also with selling off your investment, it has to be within the trading hours of the stock market, because remember, the stock market is only open Monday to Friday between, I don't know what time do they close? At 5 and open at, okay, you can check this online. I don't know exactly because I am in China, but I'm still aware of South African things, as you can hear that I'm speaking about South African investments and stuff. But it's like normal office hours, but you can check on the JSE site what time does the market open and what time it closes, so that when you want to make that sale, you make it within those times. But yeah, you can also inbox Easy Equities for more information on that. Yeah, I hope that this answers your question as well, Lamesh. Luvi, you're saying you're still researching. Research is great. You should research. Researching will empower you in ways that you're just like, wow. So I have been in the dark for a long time with something so simple, because the more I paid attention to financial news, podcasts, research, just simple reading, nothing hectic, you know, and then searching some of these words, like what do these terms mean? Then afterwards, when you hear anything and when you see a graph, you're like, oh, Kanti, what was I scared of? You even feel dumb. You're like, hi man, why was I scared? You know? And then every other thing that you hear that's regarding finances, you're like, these people be looking all, suited up, looking all serious. Kanti, this is what they know. Obviously maybe they know more, but you're like, it's like you've done 80% of the work by doing the reading and the research. So I'm really proud of you for doing that. So unit trusts are also managed by specialists, and you pay fees compared to ETFs. Yes, that's true. Yeah, I can tell you've been reading. Yes, unit trusts are not passively, see they use that word, passively managed. Like ETFs passive, because there's not like a person who's like really like taking care of this ETF on a daily, on a minute, of which you must pay for that, right? So ETFs are much cheaper, and fees make such a huge difference when you're paying for something versus when you're not paying, or when you're paying X amount versus when you're paying X amount. It makes such a huge difference. So how much you are paying for your unit trust or for your ETF, and where you're buying it, and what that company is charging you, it makes a huge difference. Another reason why I love easy equities, because you can invest like for very little, you know. Why must I go and pay someone at a big company that's so reputable and pay so much money in fees every single year just because of this reputation they have with their managers and whatnot. Meanwhile, they're not really actually doing much for my account specifically, you know. So I like this DIY investing that I'm doing, but I know that it can be intimidating. Hence, I encourage you guys to just go for it with the research. Go for it. And I'll always be posting on my Insta stories and on my timeline anything that can help you understand things better. Yes, that is all I had to say today about tax-free investment accounts. There are different ETF providers. You guys know which one is my favorite ETF now. I have shared my golden girl by Signia. Signia is also another ETF provider. And I really suggest that you guys also follow these companies, because they also post on their stories. They also post on their timeline useful information, even on their website. But the thing is, I don't like to buy ETFs from them directly, because now if I go to Satrix and I buy ETFs from Satrix, they're only going to sell me Satrix ETFs. And then now, what if I want Signia ETFs as well? Now I must also go to Signia, buy ETFs directly from Signia. That's too much here and there and there and there. So that's why on Easy Equities, you have access to all of them under one roof. Signia, Ashburton, One Invest, what's the other one? Satrix, actually APSA, is it APSA? Or yes, I think APSA has some ETFs as well. So all these companies, you just find them all under one umbrella on Easy Equities, and you can buy their ETFs there. Butlari, welcome. Thank you for joining. We are talking about the tax-free savings account. Do you have a tax-free savings account? Do you have any issues or things that you're not understanding about this account? Because March is coming, the new tax year is coming, and I want to hear you guys saying that you have opened your tax-free savings account and you've started investing, and then it's like, hooray, you know. When I'm sharing my growth, it's not just me, it's also you guys that are also growing with your finances and all of that. So if you guys have any more questions, please write them, because I feel like I could go on and on and on and on and on and on. I think on my current TFSA, I am gonna add some new ETFs. I do want to remove some ETFs, like sell them off, but I want to sell them when they're in the green, when they've made profit, not loss. Like when there's a loss, just be patient, relax, let it get green. If you really, really want to let it go, sell when it's in the green. So there are some that I'm just like, they've never shown me much magic anyway, you know. So I'm like, maybe I should sell them, and then invest in some new ones that have come up that are really good. I'm going to share that as well, which ones I'm going to invest in. And then obviously my golden girl, I'm giving her more money. My golden girl, I'm giving her more money. Luvi, what did you say? Just admiring your beauty also. Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. What else did I want to say about this account? If you have a tax-free savings account with like another provider, maybe you have it with like a bank, right? And you're not able to transfer, which is one of the things you are able to do. You can transfer your tax-free investment account or savings account to another provider. But if now they don't want, or they say, hey, it's not possible, because they'll give you stories. They don't want you to move your money to another provider. Hell no. Which bank wants you to do that, or which service provider wants you to do that? but try and transfer it. See if it's possible for you to transfer it to another provider. If it's not possible, it's fine. Keep the one that you have and just open a new one then with the provider that you choose, be it Easy Equities or African Bank, because I get African Bank offers the highest interest rate when it comes to TFSAs, when it comes to all the banks combined. According to the research, African Bank offers the highest amount. I think it's about 80%. No, 8%. What's wrong now? I think I'm thirsty. That's what's wrong. Yeah, they offer about 8% interest. The rest of the banks, if it's not a tax-free investment account that's invested in unit trusts or ETFs, then you won't really see much magic. They're just playing with you. Like, it's as good as having a savings account. It's as good as having a 32-day notice account. Like, there's no difference. So hence, I'm like trying to make you guys see that buying ETFs, having it with Easy Equities, is probably the best thing you can do for your TFSA, and ask, guys, get into my DMs. Yes, maybe I'll take about like 48 hours to return a response. Latest, I do respond. And I respond with voice notes. It's just that now if I'm typing details, it's going to be too much. So I respond with voice notes and I really give it my attention. So if there's still something you just stuck or you're still like, I don't know, I might refer you to my videos if you haven't watched them because there's a lot of information there. But if you've watched and you're coming back to me and you're saying, I'm still not 100%, DM me. I will do my best to help you understand certain things. Guys, I appreciate and understand that in some of our households, finances, it was a matter of, I have a clothing account, I have a loan, I have a what, that I need to pay every single month. But nothing about shares, nothing about all of that. So we have to literally learn this and ourselves, teach it to ourselves. So that's why with this page, I want us to have a community. I'll try my best to do more lives. I will. But essentially, I want us to have a community where we engage and we grow. We engage, we grow. Okay? I almost said something in Chinese. I was like, how ma? It's like saying, I need how ma? Am I on holiday? It was a forced holiday. Actually. I was supposed to still be at school. The Chinese New Year is celebrated mid-February. So I was still supposed to be teaching, but because of the fact that there's so many Chinese people and they're traveling like inter-province and inter-city, and there are some COVID cases. So the school, the provinces, different provinces have decided to shut down all schools during this period so they can put some restrictions to traveling. Yeah, that's why. So guys, if you don't have any more questions, I'm going to exit. I also shares for what? What's Theong Run? Not die to check daily like you're trading. Hence, the thorough research is needed before commitment. Yo, when no, I can tell Huri, you are in this thing, hey? Like you are in this thing. You're in this thing. You are definitely doing your research and your understanding. Guys, I don't think I check my portfolio maybe once a week if I'm being frequent, and maybe like once every 2 weeks. Sometimes I go even a month without checking because I believe in the shares that I bought them for the long term. Even when I did my research, I'm like, okay, company X, what service are you providing? And this service that you're providing, is it something that in the next 10 years there's going to be more of a demand, and you guys seem like you're going to be able to provide and improve this service as you go along and increase the share price? Like, yes. If I answer yes to those things, then I'm like, for sure. Then I don't have to get scared when it goes down and then goes up. When it goes up, I'm like, ooh. You don't withdraw the money, even if it looks nice. Just calm down. It will get better and better and better. But it will have its times where it goes down. So it's okay if it's, but that's why I avoid trends, guys. I avoid trends. Hey, Tesla shares, hey, Apple shares. I can't afford them. How many dollars? Guys, sorry, I would rather take that money and go buy smaller companies that I know are going to do well. Like I'm not a prophet. I'm not a future teller. You see those ones with the crystal ball. None of that. But I just know that if a company is providing financial services, if they are in tech, if they just think about the things that we need, the things we consume. Think about that. And then ask yourself, okay, if this is talking about Purple Group, what companies are under Purple Group? Easy Equities is under Purple Group. Can you see how Easy Equities is hoying, guys? Every year, they're just becoming bigger and bigger. And it's not only Easy Equities that's under Purple Group. They've got other companies under that one umbrella of Purple Group. And I really see Purple Group, I'm thirsty, becoming one of those household names where, or Easy Equities rather, becoming like really popular. And there's also Easy Properties and whatnot, of which we're going to reserve that one for another day. The Easy Properties side of things and different ways of investing in property. Give me some time, guys. We're going to get into that one on another day. But thank you so much for joining me on this live. If you are investing in shares, do it for the long run. If you are investing in a TFSA, do it for the long run. I don't want to work when I'm old. No, I don't want to work. When I don't want to be teaching abantwana when I'm old and bending over, having to wake up so early in the morning. No, I want money that's going to be able to supplement my life. And I know that my TFSA will do that. I need to be patient. So how are you going to feel then now where Tisa is now next year showing you her TFSA in a space of 2 years has made her XYZ amount. Meanwhile, the whole year last year, you were ignoring me. You're going to be like, ish, I should have. So don't feel that, right? So get on it. Get on it, guys. Thank you, Nakansa. Goodbye, guys. Okay, send me some hearts before I leave. I'm waiting for the hearts. The hearts make me know. They tell me that you guys are there. The hearts are here. You just press. So I'm waiting for the hearts, guys, before I leave. No hearts. Oh, maybe this thing is delayed. Let me wait, ne? Thank you, Vitari. Take care, guys. Invest, ne? Thank you. How do we end a live? Oh, we click here. How do we end? Okay.